All right, it's late at night. You can hear the nightclubs going. Oh, it's beautiful here. Look at this. Check this out. Got the you actually sit in the water. It's nice. It's beautiful. It's about 60 meters too. So, what girl should you date? A Chinese girl or a Thai girl? I'm going to break that down right now in the most simplistic, fastest way possible. I might talk a little bit faster because there's a lot of information I need to get out there. And I'm going to save the most controversial thing at the end. And trust me, it's going to get controversial from the very beginning. Which one should you date? You buy my 30-day challenge. You learn to cold approach women. You're getting out there. You're just getting into it. You get a few numbers. You get a Chinese girl's and a Thai girl's number. They both happen to be free on a Saturday afternoon. Which girl do you date? Well, if you're me, you double book like I did today. Actually, I triple booked today. I pulled two girls. I failed twice. The second one, the third one turns up at the same time because the the second one turned up late and the other one turned up early, and I just had to pick one. I ended up pulling twice and failed twice today. Look, you can't control what happens when you pull them home. A lot of guys will say you can, but you can't force that issue. You pull a girl and she's not down, it's like, okay, see you later. Anyway, you got two numbers. Which one do you go with? Let's compare the Chinese and the Thais. One, what's the first thing you think of when someone says Shanghai or Guangzhou or Beijing or Bangkok? Beijing, you think of big, big uh, political buildings. Shanghai, you think of these beautiful, the Opal Tower. You think about a lot of money. You think about 25 million people crammed into one big, beautiful, powerful city. High-speed rails, technology. Guangzhou, you think about the Guangzhou famous building as well. Maybe speaking Cantonese down there, and in Shanghai they're speaking Mandarin. Beijing women being a little bit more bitchy, a little bit grumpy. When you think about Bangkok, what do you think of? Ladyboys and prostitution. So the first thing I think of, if someone goes, someone says, "Oh, I met a Thai girl." It's like, was it really a girl? Can you tell? Are you sure? Ha ha ha. Oh, okay, it was really a girl. No, you checked. Okay, gotcha. It's the first thing that a lot of people think of, whether they want to admit it or not. Culturally, Thailand accepts the LGBTQ LMNOP people more than the Chinese. So think about that, how that changes the behavior in those countries. Now, in Sydney, the red light gay districts, they're kind of dirty. There's a lot of drugs there. It's a little bit messy. There's a lot of prostitution and all this, like stuff that we don't really like in society. And it promotes a lot of things that damage the mentality of women. And so when you think about it, if you've got yourself a Chinese girl, she's kind of shielded from that. She doesn't have that mentality. She's less likely to have gay friends. And you know that gay guys give your girlfriend and your wife the wrong idea. You can never trust a gay guy around your wife or your girlfriend. I stand by this. Never, ever, ever. They give them the worst advice. Oh, he told you to wash the dishes. Well, you better have sex with the African guy next door. Got to get every. That's my gay voice, worst gay voice. But they advise the girls to sleep with anything, and that's why it is a good strategy for you guys out there to go to gay bars, flirt with the gay guys. The gay guys will tell. They've got. They'll bring these. I forgot what you call them. These girls out that are not gay. They just come out for the fun. The gay guys will always push the girl to sleep with you. Always, if they like you and they find out that you're not gay, the gay guys will always go, oh, go sleep with him. Imagine what they're doing with your wife or your girlfriend. Culturally, Bangkok, Thailand, as a whole, as a total different culture that damages the mentality of women compared to China. That that reflects on the men. Now, you know, we will say in the West we're affected by that, but when the West was only run with men like myself and not flooded with immigrants and we've been outnumbered, it was frowned upon. It's only become accepted when we've let too many immigrants in and the place has become way too liberal to the point where we become like socialist, communist nightmares. Thailand's kind of like that. They're going off a demographic cliff. The country's having a lot of trouble. And I blame, in part, the LGBTQ LMNOP and the prostitution. That bleeds into the second part of that. Chinese girls don't have to deal with that. They respect themselves a little bit more. And sure, Chinese girls look for money. A lot of girls do. But these days, they've got so much money that they date and marry for love. And I would argue that because they're successful, they're more successful now. And I'll put this up here. Maybe up here is better. Because they're more successful, they have the ability now to actually date for love. And probably in more likely than the Thais are. So therefore, the Thai girls on average should have higher body counts because of their love of the LGBTQ and the trans and everything, and therefore have trouble pair bonding. The other factor is because of the prostitution in Thailand, they're more likely to have a higher body count and be less likely to pair bond with you. And that's not every girl, but it's a data point that you need to put into your dating strategies. If there's a little bit of poison in the water, drinking 99% of the water, you still might get a bit of poison. It's less common in China. 3 or 4 now. Some of you guys are gonna say to me, "Oh, but Thailand's developing; they're struggling." I'm gonna go to a controversial point now. Genetics, genes. What do you mean? They've been developing for what? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Thailand's been there, well, partly, but the genes of the Thai people in that region of the world for 1,000 years. The Chinese have been there for 1,000 years or 2,000 years as well. How much time do you want? The race started when humanity started out. And what has happened over time is the Han Chinese have dominated the entire region. If the Thais were the more dominant gene, over 1,000 years you would have Thais dominating, and there'll be a large percentage of the Chinese population that would have a dash of Thai in them. But it's quite rare. You're more likely to find, if you do genetic tests on the Thais, Han Chinese. And why does that matter? Well, what it means is that for you to be a successful man, you need a good wife or girlfriend at home. If she's a nightmare and she's bullying you, or she's not helpful, or she can't solve simple problems, then you're not going to be successful. If you have a great wife at home, it increases the chances that you will get lucky and you will be successful. But if you have an awful woman at home, you have no chance, unless you win the lotto or something. Become a hitman, I don't know what you're going to do. Become a rapper. Remember Dave Chappelle? He's like, I don't know, you're going to have to dance, you're going to play some balls, you're going to drug deal, I don't know, you just need to get out of here, you're trapped. That bleeds into then the cultural problems. They're all stem back to genes. And so therefore, and that's why I put the Chinese against the Thais, they're right next to each other. The Thais are slowly, the real authentic native Thais are slowly being bred out of the gene pool. Well, if you go into China, the Han Chinese are slowly dominating. That tells me that those genes are far more dominant over time. And so, therefore, if you want good kids and you want a good family, you have, on average, a higher probability of success. And sure, people are going to say, oh, they have a larger country and a larger population. What are you talking about? Over time, they would dominate, and they should dominate if they have superior genes. That's just how it is. Because sure, they'll have 1 billion people now, but the Thais over time, if they were superior, their genes would take over the next 500 years. Next thing you know, the Thais control Shanghai, but that's not the case. Let's move into another phase. Although Beijing women are famous for being awful girlfriends, volatile, angry, abusive, etc., the Thai women disrespect their men far more often than the Chinese women disrespect their men. China is a male-dominated society. We all know that. Thailand is a female-dominated society. What do you think happens when women run the society? You got red light districts on every corner. That's soy prostitution 1, soy prostitution 2. It's like every street there's a red light district. In China, every street there's a university. and there's an engineer trying to figure out how to create 7G. In Thailand, they're figuring out how to sleep with as many foreigners as possible to get hold, and then next thing you know, you've got like all the hottest girls in Thailand going into prostitution or part-time, and by the time they're 30, they got they call it the 1,000 cock stare. Can't pair bond, don't respect men. It's less likely in China. And so I could probably talk about this topic for hours, but this is a video where we're 12 minutes in, 13 minutes in. I recommend the Chinese every time. So if you go and you take my 30-day challenge, which I highly recommend, you go purchase that, you go out there and approach girls and you practice through every day. You've got 30 days, you have a different video and a different task to complete every day for 30 days. That's why it's called the 30-day challenge, to get you into the routine of approaching and meeting girls, which is far superior method than getting on Tinder. You know what's going to happen on Tinder? You're not even going to know if she's a girl. She can edit the photos. You don't know what's going to turn up, especially if you're in Bangkok. It's less likely in China. But if you approach the girl, you'll be able to tell if it's a girl or a boy and approach the girl because you're after a girl. 30-day challenge. It's on the website, on my YouTube channel. I might even post it here as well. And that's what I recommend that you guys do. If you have 2 numbers, I would recommend you go for the Chinese girls every time. I could talk about this for hours, but just for video's sake and simplistic sake, these are my tips. Anyway, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button. If you've got the choice between a Thai girl and a Chinese girl, always go for the Chinese girl. I'll see you guys in the next video.